You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team. When it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. National Sons Day. I have three. I don't know if grandsons count. We'll put them in there just because we can. All great folks. I love them all. Marching Music Day. Shouldn't that be during football season? I mean, that's when we really see marching bands. And I mean, this time of year, there's no marching going on. National Grammar Day. I use Grammarly because I can. Hug a GI Day. We thank our GI, the men and women in the military every day. So today's National Hug a GI Day. And before the broadcast, I was chatting with Josh, and today's National Pound Cake Day. Well, that should have been last week when we had strawberries. Put the strawberries, whipped cream on the pound cake. Didn't we have Kahlua just recently too? That might fit right in with that whole theme. I guess we'll move on. Let's see what else is going on in the world today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 84.5 points. The S&P is down 2.75. NASDAQ down 37. Oil is down 80 cents a barrel. It had gone up over $80 a barrel just recently, so we're watching all of that for you. Do we even want to know what's going on with the gas prices? Probably not, but it is Ron Siegel Radio, so we're going to look at gas prices. And when I share gas prices with you, we always refer to AAA. That's where we get our information on gas prices. $4.83 a gallon right here in the formerly Golden State. $4.04 in Nevada. So we have found that Nevada, I guess, Nevada, I think you probably have to take about 50 cents a gallon off in order to be more legit. And when I say more legit, it's because there are so many really rural areas of Nevada. Or, you go out like to Primm, they're going to charge you an extra couple bucks just because you're in Primm. And they can. So, Vegas, just a pro tip right here. When if you're driving from Southern California to Las Vegas, well, if you need gas when you get there, go in, and just before you get to town, I think what's the south side of town, Josh? You get off the freeway there. I think it's 176, and you go over there to Costco, and their gas prices are really good right there. And they're only like 2 miles off the freeway. So you go over there, and it's a big station. There's one on the north side. It's a really tiny station. The one on the south side, that's a big station. You go in there, get gas. If you've driven around throughout your stay in Las Vegas, top it off on the way out of town. You make it all the way back to Southern California on one tank most of the time. Sometimes there are those times when you get like 8 or 10 hour drives because something goofy's gone on the freeway. But just throw that out there for you. And just to make matters even a little bit more unpleasant, Arian, my loan assistant, Mississippi, $2.88 a gallon of gasoline. Now, if there were a half a dollar more like Josh has there in Nevada, can you imagine that? 288 though, they're what's that, $2 cheaper roughly than we're paying here in the formerly Golden State. Not what we wanted to hear about. Not what we wanted to hear about. But it is what it is. I saw this article, caught my eye this morning. This was in the Washington Times. Report finds 52% of recent college grads working in fast food, retail, and other underemployed jobs. Could you imagine going to college, spending all that money so that you can flip burgers? Not a good idea. Not a good thing with as much money as you get spending on student loan debt. Just throw that out there. It's expensive going to college right now, and I'm wondering, is it worth it? There's a whole lot of folks that are finding there's jobs out there that you don't need a college degree. And if you remember, we had Damian Weston on recently. He's got a whole setup, a whole company that are finding people jobs without the college degree, but they're good paying jobs. So if you're looking for a job other than fast food and you want to do something, Damian Weston, give me a call. I'll put you in touch with him, see if he can help you out a little bit. Got an odd one today. So as we're recording this, March 4th, Supreme Court came out with a ruling this morning. So very rare that we see a Supreme Court ruling this time of year, but they did say Colorado unconstitutional to take former President Trump off the ballot. So saying that, and boy, it's got to be a really, really egregious case, because it was unanimous, 9-0. All justices agreed that the states do not have the right to disqualify somebody. That needs to be done at the federal level. So that was a pretty interesting one right there. So that is a ruling coming out of the Supreme Court this morning. Don't care whether you are for President Trump or against him. The bottom line is we want to just make sure that we've got free and fair elections. Now, I'm one of those folks that says there's no reason that we should not have voter ID. We have to have an ID for everything, right? I wanted to get some cough medicine for my son this weekend. You got to show ID for it. Now, it was no big deal. You reach in your pocket, you grab your ID, you hand it to him, and you're done. Why can't we do that for voting? Maybe it's because in California, half our votes come from people who died recently. Maybe that's the issue. There are other areas where we see that you end up getting more people voting than there are citizens alive. How does that work? Well, apparently that's what President Trump had in mind with his commentary. Speaking of President Trump, did you see any of that soap opera that was going on last week? The Fani Willis case? I mean, that was better than most. Well, I don't watch soap operas, but unbelievable watching that one. You've got a district attorney similar to the one in New York who all they care about is getting Trump. Talk about that in just a second. But she's having an affair with the guy that she hires and already has paid over $650,000 taxpayer dollars to her boyfriend. And, they went on 6 trips, 6 vacations in 7 months. Wish I could get a job like that. New York, you've got the New York Attorney General. That was her campaign, Get Trump. I think there was just a book that was just written. It's called Get Trump. Was it Alan Dershowitz I was listening to this weekend? Might have been. He had a paper that said Get Trump or wrote a book. Thought he might have to pay a royalty to Letitia James. And then you think about this. And, we lead a lending company here. And you've got a judge. And, usually I respect judges, but this judge in New York, what an idiot. I mean, when you really think about it, with this whole case with this guy, I mean.
Such an idiot.
Yeah.
Idiot.
So $350 million is what the judgment was against Trump. Again, don't care whether you like him or don't like him. Who was hurt? And what are the allegations there? I mean, Who lends money to anybody? I mean, we lead a lending team. You could put on your application that your house is worth $500,000. Do we care? Not really. Because we're going to send out an independent appraiser. That's what any business does. I used to have a import-export company. We had a line of credit. They had auditors that came in and wanted to look at what they wanted to look at. They didn't really care what we put on the documentation. So you don't think they've done that with Trump? You don't think Deutsche Bank did their own due diligence and didn't really care what he said his companies were worth? Just throw that out there for you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, what to know about credit scores before buying a home, misconceptions about couples and credit. What is the Savers credit and how does it work? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Hey there, friends. Wondering if now is the right time to buy a home? Or are you waiting for a bunch of foreclosures? The facts speak loud and clear. Defaults and foreclosures are down. Sure, we might be headed towards a recession. But did you know interest rates typically drop and real estate values often go up during a recession? So what are you waiting for? Higher prices or higher payments? Don't navigate these waters alone. Connect with RonSiegelRadio.com today. That's RonSiegelRadio.com.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry. They do not tell us points paid, points received, APR. They tell us rates that are calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. What did the rates do on Friday? 30-year conforming rate 6.845. Jumbo rate 7.223. FHA rate 6.675. USDA 6.557. And the best loan on the market, that would be the 30-year VA loan, 6.45. That's where they locked on Friday. If you want our current market commentary, rsrmarketminute.com, rsrmarketminute.com. Let's take a look at what's going on today in the markets. We've got the S&P 500 is now down 1.27. Let's see, where's the 10-year Treasury doing? That's what we watch a lot. The 10-year Treasury is up 5 basis points, 4.23. Mortgage-backed securities are down 12 basis points. That means interest rates are up. Got a big week of news this week. So we've got the jobs report. Hopefully they won't fabricate too much in there this time, but they usually do. And we've got a lot of technical issues going on right now. There's something called a reverse repo market. And I know most people are not going to understand or don't care about the reverse repo market, but why is it important? Well, it's one of those things that's been they've been selling into the market. They are running out of money in this fund. It's down to $441 billion. It was at $2.4 trillion not too long ago. And it has to do with liquidity in the marketplace. So when the Federal Reserve, they might have to stop or slow some of their quantitative tightening, which we have been seeing about 90 to 95 billion a month being run off the balance sheet. They might have to leave some of that liquidity into the market. We'll see what happens on that. We've got the JOLTS report coming out on Wednesday. That's the job opening and labor transition report. ADP report comes out on Wednesday. We've got the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Powell, speaking on Wednesday. Got the State of the Union address coming up on Thursday night. My grandson's birthday's that day, so I don't think I'll pay too much attention to that one. Although we will get the headlines. We might have to get a transcript of it and see what's going on that as well. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Hey, if you want to pipe in and join us in the conversation, we love it. And say hello from wherever you're checking in from. Go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. We'll actually know who we're talking to, but I can probably guess. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a great, great weekend. Let's take a look and see what's going on. We've got right now, let's talk about credit. Misconceptions about couples credit. The Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by by RSRDebtFree.com. RSRDebtFree.com. Got it right here on my sheet, and you would think that I would be able to remember that. RSRDebtFree.com. And I'll tell you a little bit about what they're doing at RSR Debt Free in a minute. Let's talk about the misconceptions about couples and credit. And there's a lot to talk about there. So let's get at it. So while tying the knot and starting a life, isn't this wedding season or getting close to it? Tying the knot and starting a life with your chosen person is an exciting new chapter. It also comes with an array of new financial considerations. Exactly how credit can impact marriage ranks right up there alongside major considerations such as whether or not to open a joint bank account and how to save for goals. Sadly, misconception on how credit works when you're married or bound. Here, we're going to demystify the most common ones so that you and your spouse can get on the same page financially and ultimately build a life together side by side. And I will share that next month, 37 years into a life sentence. So I understand a little bit about the keeping that household together. Married couples don't share a credit history. Probably the most enduring false belief around married folks and credit is that once you get married, you share at least a part of your credit history, explains credit expert Jerry Detweiler. That's simply not true. Quote, your credit reports and scores remain your own, whether you're single, married, divorced, or widowed, says Detweiler. If you have joint accounts with your spouse, they will appear on each of your credit reports, but your credit reports are not merged, unquote. Your spouse's credit score cannot impact your finances. It's quite common for one person to have better credit or worse credit than their partner, adds Detweiler. While your credit histories are not merged once you get married, that's not to say that your credit doesn't impact your financial lives. For instance, let's say you're buying a house with your significant other. Lenders will pay the most attention to the lowest score among the both of you. In turn, you might be turned away for a mortgage, or you might not snag the most favorable terms and rates. Your partner won't automatically share responsibility in debt payoff because one person in a marriage typically has a stronger FICO score and a sturdier financial foundation. They might take on more financial responsibility. If a spouse takes on responsibility for loans or family finances, that could potentially lead to problems down the road, largely an imbalance in power dynamics. For instance, if one partner has taken the reins on all things money in your partnership, the less financial savvy one might be left in the dark and not know how to manage accounts should their spouse fall ill. Or if interpersonal dynamics of the marriage might be impacted, where one is constantly nagging the other about their spending choices, another possibility. The partner who has greater control on the money might make all of the money decisions, and the other person has to ask permission to make certain purchases. Have a conversation about money. If one spouse is helping pay off debt for the other spouse, make sure you have open lines of communication, suggests Detweiler. That way you don't end up resenting the responsibility. She says, plus, understanding that you're legally responsible for the debt if they can't pay or don't pay it back. You'll also want to sit down and start by sharing your hopes, dreams, goals, along with any of your concerns, fears, and worries about finances. From there, you can come up with a game plan. Who will be tasked with coming up with a budget, or will it be a collaborative effort? How will you tackle shared bills? What about any debt you bring into the marriage? And how will you save for financial goals such as emergency fund, vacations, or starting a family? Regardless of who owes or pays a debt, treat it as a we endeavor. That's an interesting one. For instance, include the debt payoff within your shared financial plan and welcome any and all input on how to tackle managing debt as a couple. Know how living in a community property state can impact your debt when it comes to sharing assets and debt in a marriage. If you live in one of the 9 community property states in the U.S., and yes, California is one of them, all assets and debt that you acquire in your marriage are shared equally. So while living in a community property state won't merge your credit reports, it may mean you can be responsible for debt incurred by your spouse after you're wed. This could have implications if one of you dies, if you're divorced, or if one of you needs to file bankruptcy. Another way it can impact you is if that money you earn may be considered community property. Even if you plan to use it for savings or investments, for example, creditors may try to go after that income to pay your spouse's debt. Understand your partner's debt and financial stress tolerances. Besides understanding each other's dreams and concerns around money, you'll want to dig deep on the emotional aspects of money. For one, spouses often have different tolerances for financial stress. This is significant when buying a home, for example, as each partner may want to spend different amounts. Another common disagreement occurs when a business owner's spouse wants to take on business debt. They know more about the business, but its outcomes impact both spouses, and navigating that tension can be a challenge. Having a heart-to-heart as to where you can discuss what might stress your other partner out can help you understand where the other person is coming from. In turn, it can help you more swiftly work through matters of debt and credit. Be mindful that people often carry great pride or shame about their debt or credit history. If you minimize your judgment and maximize your understanding, then you'll open up more fully and welcome your partnership in bettering their situation. Most people go into a marriage with optimism, as they should. However, some marriages might end in divorce or debt. If you truly care about each other, you want to be prepared for the financial implications of either scenario. Communicating about debt while you're married can help you avoid surprises or problems later on. If you want to get your credit scores, cleanall3.com, cleanall3.com. Great site. That is real FICO scores. Those are not Vantage scores, FICO scores. Cleanall3.com. And you can actually send that over to our friends at Blue Water Credit. Once you get that report, you can actually use that for a credit audit with our friends at Blue Water Credit. That's a great tool to use with them. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, what to know about credit scores before buying a home. We'll talk about it. Some experts say mortgage rates will fall below 6% later this year. All that and more. Reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. What to know about credit scores before buying a home. Continuing our theme today of credit. If you want to buy a home, you should know your credit score is a critical piece of the puzzle when it comes to qualifying for a mortgage. Lenders review your credit to see if you typically make payments on time, pay back debts, and more. Your credit score can also help determine your mortgage rate. An article from U.S. Bank explains, quote, a credit score isn't the only deciding factor on your mortgage application, but it's a significant one. So when you're house shopping, it's important to know where your credit stands and how to use it to get the best mortgage rate possible, unquote. That means your credit score may feel even more important to your home buying plans right now, since mortgage rates are a key factor in affordability. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, the median credit score in the U.S. for those taking out a mortgage is 770. But that doesn't mean your credit score has to be perfect. The same article from U.S. Bank explains, quote, your credit score, commonly called a FICO score, can range from 300 at the low end to 850 at the high end. A score of 740 or above is generally considered very good, but you don't need that score or above to buy a home, unquote. Working with a trusted lender is the best way to get more information on how your credit score could factor into your home loan and the mortgage rate you're able to get. As FICO says, quote, while many lenders use credit scores like FICO scores to help them make lending decisions, each lender has its own strategy, including the level of risk it finds acceptable. There is no single, quote unquote, cutoff score used by all lenders, and there are many additional factors that lenders may use to determine your actual interest rates, unquote. If you're looking for ways to improve your score, Experian highlights some things you may want to focus on. Your payment history. Late payments can have a negative impact by dropping your score. Focus on making payments on time and paying any existing late charges quickly. Your debt amount relative to credit limits. That's utilization. When it comes to your available credit amount, the less you're using, the better. Focus on keeping this number as low as possible. Credit applications. If you're looking to buy something, don't apply for additional credit. When you apply for new credit, it could result in a hard inquiry on your credit that drops your score. Not a lot, but it does drop it. If you want to see how to maximize your credit score with paying your credit card bills the right way, rsrccpayment.com. rsrccpayment.com. It's a great tool, free to you. We give it to you, rsrccpayment.com. You can go out there and just get that. It's about a 9-minute video that we did showing you how to maximize your credit score by paying your bill the right way. And yes, even if you are that person, say, Ron, I pay my credit bill in full every month. If you pay it in full at the wrong time of the month, you may not be getting any benefit for paying it in full. rsrccpayment.com. That'll help you. Bottom line, finding ways to make your credit score better could help you get a lower mortgage rate. If you want to learn more, give us a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So, yes, we are chatting about all sorts of goodies today, about getting your scores corrected or increased. Again, I highly recommend cleanall3.com, cleanall3.com. That's our trusted source. It is a true FICO score. It's not the FACO score. Nothing wrong with the Vantage scores or Credit Karma. They're just not giving you the scores that you need in order to maximize your credit reports. I will also share with you that our new home buyers and sellers guides are out. You can go to rsrhbg.com, rsrhbg.com. That's the home buyers guide. Every quarter, new one. rsrhsg.com. That's the seller's guide, rsrhsg.com. Love that one as well. And we already told you about getting your credit score up. And if you're thinking about selling your house, there are strategies that will maximize the sales price of your property. One of them is something that we've just added to our arsenal at the Siegel Lending team. It's getting your property on TV. If you're thinking about selling your property, we get it on TV for you. If your agent is not putting your property on TV, ask them why not. Or you can just call us at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We're happy to help you get it on TV. We'll get you with an agent that understands the value of marketing. And where do most people see things? Yeah, on TV, they see a ton of them. I just actually sent out a package for a realtor this weekend, and he had a property that he was holding open house on Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember which day it was, out in Palm Desert. And boy, there was a lot of activity on the open house toolkit that we sent him. I can see the amount of times that it's opened. So, and that includes the house being on TV. So, just a bit of information there for you. And one of the big things, obviously, we talked about in that last segment was about your credit score. That is just one of a great number of loan level price adjustments that we get from Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. If you're not familiar with loan level price adjustments, Google it. Hopefully they'll give you the right answer. But I do want to give you a real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com. Experts say mortgage rates may fall below 6% later this year. I just heard another one. I think it was from the California Association of Realtors, their chief economist. I think he was the latest one. A lot of confusion in the market about what's happening with day-to-day movement in mortgage rates right now. But here's what you really need to know compared to the near 8% peak last fall. Mortgage rates have trended down overall. And if you're looking to buy or sell a home, this is a big deal. While they're going to continue to bounce around a bit based on various economic drivers, like inflation and reactions to the Consumer Price Index or CPI, don't let the short-term volatility distract you. The experts agree the overarching downward trend should continue this year. While we don't see the record low rates home buyers got during the pandemic, some experts think we should see rates dip below 6% later this year. As Dean Baker, senior economist, Center for Economic Research, says, quote, they will almost certainly not fall to pandemic lows, although we may soon see rates under 6%, which should be low by pre-Great Recession standards, unquote. And Baker isn't the only one saying this is a possibility. The latest Fannie Mae projections also indicate that we may see a rate below 6% by the end of this year. And we get all kinds of rate projections all the time. We're always watching those. Got a chart here for you if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feed. You're seeing that, according to Fannie Mae, they're projecting third quarter 2024, 6%, fourth quarter 2024, 5.8%. That is the chart from Fannie Mae. It includes one that came out in December and compares it to the updated 2024 forecasts. Yeah, 2024, originally the December forecast, they were saying 6.5% for the fourth quarter this year. Now 5.8. Nice. If you're closer, you'll notice the projections are on the way down. It's normal for experts to reforecast as they watch current market trends and the broader economy. But what this shows is experts are feeling confident rates should continue to decline if inflation cools. What this means for you? Remember, no one can say for sure what will happen and by when. And short-term volatility is to be expected. So don't let small fluctuations scare you. Focus on the bigger picture. If you found a home you love in today's market, especially where finding a home that meets your budget and your needs can be a challenge, it's probably not a good idea to try to time the market and wait till rates drop below 6%. With rates already lower than they were last fall, you have an opportunity in front of you right now. That's because even a small quarter point dip in rates gives your purchasing power a boost. Bottom line, if you want to move last year, but we're holding off hoping rates would fall, now may be the time to act. Let's put together a game plan. All you need to do is give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Now, here's the issue right here for you to remember is if and when rates fall, which I'm sure they will, they're always in a cycle. If and when rates fall, generally real estate values are going to go up because more people are going to get into the market. And one of the things I want you to be aware of is appreciation does not revert. So if you find the property right now that you like, maybe you need to stretch a little bit to get it. Go get it now. don't worry as much about the rate because you're locked in. Now, you're locked in on the price too. If you wait and prices do go up as we forecast they will, you can't go back to today's pricing. Now, you're locked in on the rate then, so your payment's not going to go up. If the rate goes down, you're not locked in. You can always restructure your loan and get a new loan. So you start collecting that appreciation. It's not like you put it in the bank, but your property value goes up, which we forecast it will, and you can get your payment to drop. Just throwing that out at you. It's a good point for you right there. And you'll see some advertisements about rates dropping, so go refinance now. Do not be the first to refinance. I'm just going to throw that out there for you. You don't want to be the first one because rates generally continue in a cycle. So when they started going up, they went up and up and up. They generally will go up faster than they go down. When they start going down, just let the cycle continue. Give us a call. We'll help you with to attempt with the forecasting and what we're seeing, because you don't want the lowest rate when they start going down. You want to get the rate just when it hits the bottom before it turns back up. We can help you try and forecast that. No one's going to be perfect, but we do have some good tools and contacts that we're always watching. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, strategic tips for buying your first home. We're going to talk about that. And what is the Savers Credit and how does it work? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990 at RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. Hey, I got it right this time, Josh. I can actually read the screen where you put it right in front of me. What is rsrdebtfree.com? Well, we help you get out from financial stress. And I don't know whether you need to do a debt consolidation loan because your household blended interest rate is always significantly higher than your mortgage rate, but most people like to keep them in separate buckets. Or do you need to get put in touch with one of the services that we talk about that helps negotiate your debts and get the payments down for you? Two different tools, two different services, rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. What is the Savers Credit and how does it work? Savers Credit can give you an extra incentive to save for the future by lowering your taxes, and if you contribute to your retirement account. And although you have to make most tax moves before the end of the year, this one is an exception. Again, check with your CPA. You might be able to qualify if you make a last-minute contribution to an IRA before filing your tax return. What is the Savers Credit? Savers Credit, or Retirement Savings Contributions Credit, is a federal tax credit that you may be able to claim if you make contributions to an eligible tax advantage retirement plan or ABLE account. The Savers Credit is worth up to $1,000 or $2,000 if you're married and filed jointly. The amount you receive depends on your contributions, tax filing status, and adjusted gross income. Unlike tax deductions, a tax credit can save you money on a dollar-for-dollar basis. For example, a $1,000 tax deduction lowers your taxable income by $1,000, and you might save $220 if you're in the 22% tax bracket. But a $1,000 tax credit can save you the entire $1,000. However, the Savers Credit is non-refundable, which means it can only lower your tax bill. It won't increase your tax refund if you don't owe anything. How to qualify for the Savers Credit? You can claim the Savers Credit when you file your tax return if you meet the qualification requirements and make eligible contributions. Basic requirements for the Savers Credit. There are several basic requirements that you have to meet to qualify for the Savers Credit. You got to be at least 18 years old. No one can claim you as a dependent on their tax return. You cannot have been a full-time student during 5 or more months. Additionally, you have to contribute to at least one of the following types of tax-advantaged accounts: an ABLE account, Roth or traditional IRA, employer-sponsored retirement plans such as a 401k or 403b. If you file jointly with your spouse, only one of you needs to be eligible and contribute to claim the credit. However, you might receive a larger tax credit if you're both eligible and contribute. Income requirements for the Savers Credit: in addition to the basic eligibility and contribution requirements, your eligibility and the credit's value depend on your AGI, or adjusted gross income, and tax filing status. For the 2023 tax year, you can claim the Savers Credit if your AGI is at or below $73,000 for a married filed jointly, $54,750 head of household, $36,500 is the other statuses. Those amounts increase to $76,500, $57,375, and $38,250 respectively for the 2024 tax year. We're filing taxes right now for 2023. Your credit will be worth 10%, 20%, or 50% of your eligible contributions depending on your AGI. For example, if you contributed $2,000 for the 2023 tax year, you might receive a credit worth $200, $400, or $1,000. The IRS's website has charts that show you the various AGI cutoff points. You claim the Savers Credit using Form 8880, which asks about your contributions, filing status, and AGI. If you're using tax preparation software, the software may actually automatically fill out the form and claim the credit for you if you qualify. You can review your tax return before filing to double check. If you qualify for the Savers Credit, you also likely qualify to use tax-free preparation software that's part of the IRS free file program. Alternatively, you may be able to get free assistance preparing and filing your tax return from an IRS certified volunteer who is part of the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, VITA, or Tax Counseling for the Elderly, TCE programs. Do not forget last-minute contributions can help you save. You generally need to make tax advantage account contributions by December 31. But IRA contributions are an exception, and the deadline is the tax filing date of the following year. For example, you can make 2023 year IRA contributions through April 15th, 2024. With this in mind, you can start preparing your tax return to find your AGI and see if you'll qualify for the Savers Credit. If you do, and you haven't maxed out your IRA contributions for the year, you might want to make an additional contribution if it will qualify you for a larger credit. Traditional IRA contributions also might lower your AGI, so if you're on the cusp of qualifying, a contribution might help qualify you for the Savers Credit and decrease your overall taxable income. Plus, you can invest the money in your IRA for your future self. It's a win-win-win. That is the Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. Let's see. I wanted to get to this one. Tips for buying your first home was our subject of the real-time real estate segment, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Strategic tips for buying your first home. Buying your first home is a big, exciting step and a major milestone that has the power to improve your life. As a first-time home buyer, it's a dream you can make come true. But there are some hurdles you'll need to overcome in today's housing market. Specifically, the limited supply of homes for sale and ongoing affordability challenges. If you really think that there's not enough homes for sale, if you find the one you want, there are tools that we have to help you get the home you want. rsrperfectoffer.com, rsrperfectoffer.com. I also, on our open house toolkit, I share with folks what the difference is if you go with the list price plus 25, plus 50, or plus $100,000, because a lot of times the down payment or cash to close funds are not significantly more. The payment is not significantly more, and maybe you can get the property that you want. If you're ready, willing, and able to buy your first home, here are 3 tips to help you turn your dream home into reality. Save money with first-time homebuyer programs. Paying the initial cost of home ownership, like your down payment and closing costs, can feel a bit daunting, but there are many assistance programs for first-time homebuyers that can help you get a loan with little or no money up front, according to Bankrate. Quote, you might qualify for a first-time homebuyer loan or assistance. First-time buyer loans typically have more flexible requirements, such as lower down payment and credit score. Many help buyers with closing costs and the down payment through grants and low-interest loans. To find out more, talk to your state's housing authority or check out websites like Down Payment Assistance. Expand your options by looking at condos and townhomes. Right now, there aren't enough homes for sale for everyone who wants to buy one. That's pushing home prices up and making affordability tight for buyers. One way to deal with that issue and find a home right now is to consider condos and townhomes. Realtor.com explains, quote, for many newbies, it might just be a matter of making a shift towards something they can better afford, like a condo or townhome. These lower cost homes have historically been a stepping stone for buyers looking for a less expensive alternative to a single family home, unquote. One reason why they may be more affordable is because they're often smaller, but they still give you the chance to get your foot in the door and achieve your goal of owning a home and building equity. And that equity can help you fuel your move into a larger home later on if you decide you need something bigger in the future. Hannah Jones, senior economic analyst at Realtor.com, says, quote, condos can help prospective home buyers who perhaps have a smaller budget, but who are really determined to get a foothold in the market and start to accumulate some equity. It can be a really great entry point, unquote. Consider pooling your resources to buy a multi-generational home. Another way to break into the market is by purchasing a home with friends or loved ones. That way you can split the cost of things like the mortgage and bills to make it easier to afford a home. According to money.com, quote, buying a home with another person has some obvious advantages in the mortgage department. With 2 incomes in the mix, Buyers can likely qualify for a larger mortgage, but a big help in today's high-cost market, unquote. Bottom line, by exploring the first-time home buyer assistance, condos, townhomes, multi-generational living, it can be easier to find and buy your first home when you're ready. Give me a call. Let's put together a game plan to see if we can help you with that. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.